All right, so this story time today is about the time I stole my school's golf cart. So my school was a big kind of open school, right? So it was pretty big. I won't disclose the school that I was at, but it was pretty fucking big that the janitors would use golf carts to get around if they had to like take the trash out or whatnot. So, but this golf cart that we had taken wasn't part of our school. It's part of the elementary school that was down the street. So we're hanging out with this dude Ernesto that we told you about, that I told you guys about. But we end up going and to this high school. We were skating around, and we are gonna go skate at not the high school. It was the I think it was the fucking elementary school. So we go there because we're gonna skate around, do some tricks, and Adam, Adam, he's best friend, like brother to me. My ride or die. I'd do anything for this motherfucker. But we go and we skate around. I hop the fence to open it up for us. And Adam and I, we see this kind of golf cart, after skating around for a bit, and we have a good idea to ride around in it for a bit. But Ernesto, being the lame fucking bozo that he was, didn't want to fucking do that. But Adam and I, we're a bunch of dumbasses who egg each other on, and if we think it would be fun, both of us do it, right? Um, so we end up going, we end up fucking driving the golf cart around, so, and we're laughing, we're having the life of our time. But eventually Ernesto's like, "Yo, I'm going home," and Adam's like, "Yeah, let's kind of split off." But Adam and we were planning on coming back there to fucking ride the golf cart more after later at night. So this was one of those times when my parents were starting, at parents at the time, were starting to learn how to fucking put parental controls on shit. And so one of the things they allowed me to have going was my SoundCloud, because normally at night I'd listen to music. So Adam and I came up with this plan. He would download SoundCloud. Yes, it got to this point where I was messaging him on SoundCloud. So I was like, "Yo, you ready to sneak out?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm down. Just give me like 30 minutes, because he lived pretty far. He was in a different little city part. He was like 30, 35 minutes away skating. So I was like, yeah, take your time. Just message me on here when you're outside down by the beach. And as you guys know, I live like 5 houses up from the beach. I no longer live there, but I he ends up shooting me a text, and he goes, "Yo, I'm down at the beach." So I'm like, "I bet." So we end up going there, right? So we end up riding our skateboards there, but before that, we kind of just messed around. We went to the I think we went to the Crackhead House before this. It wasn't a Crackhead House; it's a Horde House. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But we end up going to the elementary school, and we end up grabbing the golf cart because for some fucking reason they had left the keys in there. So we took the keys after putting it back to where it should have been. But we grabbed the keys, and we're gonna take it out onto the street. And so we grab it. You know, I'm riding it out. I'm driving it, and so we kind of have to force it out through this tiny fucking hole that it could barely get through. And so we finally get it through after some fucking force and having to force it through. But it's a golf cart. It was running on electricity golf cart, right? So we end up getting it out. We end up driving around, and I was like, "Yo, we could go up towards the park over there." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm so down for that." So we end up driving over there since it's like a minute away, and he was like, "Yo, you want to fucking go in there?" I was like, "Yo, you want to go in the little baseball field?" He goes, "I'd be down, but how are we gonna get it through there?" I go, "I'm gonna ram it." He goes, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna step out for this one." So he steps out of the car, out of the golf cart, and I just fucking back up, and I just full send it into the gate, and the gate just pops wide open. And so we go in. He gets back in his car, And so when not in his car, in the golf cart. And so when he gets in the golf cart, I just start doing donuts in this thing. And keep in mind, he decides to go live on Instagram, which in hindsight was kind of stupid. But his mom, who wasn't in town, who was like out in another country, ends up joining his live, which was kind of funny. And when his mom joined the live, he instantly just stopped it, going live. Right? It it was the funniest shit ever. He goes, "Oh shit, my mom joined." I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, what do you think she's gonna do?" He goes, "Nothing, because I'm ending the live." Right? So he ends the live. His mom texts him, and I think she said something along the line of, "Sweetie, are you doing something you shouldn't be doing?" And he goes, "No, mom, I just don't, blah 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 blah." So we end up, drifting, making a mess of this of this baseball field. And so we thought it'd be an awesome, and I mean an awesome fucking idea, just to drive around on the street, in a golf cart that literally had the school's logo on it with the letterings and everything. We were stupid, him and I. We're stupid when we're together. We're a bunch of fucking morons. And so we drive around, right? And it's we're having fun. We're ding dong ditching. So we go over to our friend Thor's house. Thor was mainly a friend of mine. So we drive it over, which we have to drive on the main road to get there. And we go over there. I was like, "All right, you want to ding dong ditch, and then you catch up, and I'll drive off." And Adam's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that." So keep in mind, his parents are still up. Thor's parents are still up. You can see him in the living room. Adam knocks on his door and he fucking runs and he jumps off this motherfucking thing and almost fucking falls. And he just starts booking it, and I start driving the golf cart there. And he hops in while I'm driving, and we just drive off. And so we turn the corner for a bit, we wait, and I'm like, "Yo, all right, my turn." So I go over there. He parks the car up kind of near close, not the car, the golf cart. We're just gonna keep calling it a car for now. And I'm like, "All right, my turn." So I go up there, and I knock on his door, and his parents are ready, but I'm fucking fast, right? So I book it, and I'm just like, "All right, time to do this," right? So I just get in, knock on the door, I run. Adam starts driving, I get in the golf cart, right? He books it off, and we're like, "All right, I think that's enough for today." So we end up stopping that, right? We go over, and we end up going and leaving, right? But on the way back, the golf cart was dying. So we end up trying to get it back, right? We give it a rest to let it kind of go again. And so as it's going and kind of like regaining its speed, we're heading back. And so we think, all right, well, we can't do this for too long. So we end up, decide to head back and take it to the school. On the way there, there's police behind us. I'm like, oh fuck me, right? And me and Adam, we're gonna get our story straight because they turned our sirens on. So I was like, hey, we just found it on the street, and we were gonna take it to take it to the school because it was just left in the middle of the street. And we had a whole story. We had time to make up that whole story, right? Because I was also kind of keeping them aside. So they were like, all right, we pulled you over because there's no license plate and there's no lights or brake lights. And I go, yeah, so this isn't ours. They go, what do you mean it's not yours? And I go, well, we're out skating and we see this, and it's like just in the middle of the road down by that street right over there. And in hindsight, we did not think of which we should have said. So we just, oh, it was like right over there. And so we told him it was kind of by this one school that was by my friend Lucas's house, because that's what we also did. We went and ding dong ditched Lucas, who was also a friend of mine. Um, so we end up going to take it back, and we, like I said, we got pulled over. So we tell them that we found it, and we were just going to take it back to the school, and they go, well, why wouldn't you take it to that school? And I go, well, it says here, this is the school. It's just, over here. And they go, all right, well, can you step, because they had pulled Adam out, so we couldn't like make up a story, but we were ahead of that. So we had made up the story, got our story clean, whatnot, and so they were just sitting there, and they go, how old are you? And Adam at the time was 18, and I was like 17. And for our time, there's a curfew for me at least at 10 p.m. A 10 p.m. curfew. So he goes, all right, well, Adam, I'm gonna have to ask you to head home. Um, they go, can we call you dad? I go, no, he's out of town, right? So I I called him. They were like, all right, we'll call him and ask, because I was like, I think he's still out of town, because at the time he was in the other city where he owned a different house. So he goes, okay, call him. I was like, hey, are you at this house? And and he goes, yeah. I go, oh, okay. Um, and he goes, all right, well, I'm gonna trust you to go back, because these were officers. Like I said, these officers knew me by first name. So they go, I'm gonna trust you to head back home. And Adam, we want you to go home. We're not gonna call your parents. We're not gonna tell them that you do anything bad, because we trust you and we believe you. So we end up getting let off the hook, and we end up going home. But this is I guess I'll do like two different stories in this one, because it kind of talks about the same thing. So the school we had a four wheeler, and I had found the keys just laying around there. And so I picked him up, and I was like, "Yo, Adam, I have the keys for this." And he goes, "Oh shit, really?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to take it out?" And he goes, "Yeah." So this one would go a lot faster. But there actually, before I do that, there's two things I should talk about. When we were doing the little drifting around the donuts, we heard police sirens, and we thought they were coming for us. So we kind of just left the go kart, and we hit down at the park. Like we waited there for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we realized they went for us. So we went back, got in the golf cart, and just fucking went back to doing what we were doing. But back to the four wheeler one, our school had kind of a four wheeler, and I had the keys for it because I just found them laying around by the kind of baseball field. So I went over there. I tested it during school hours, which is kind of stupid, but they worked. It turned it on. So what we did was we kind of just started drifting on the school's dirt football field, and the football field was made out of dirt, right? So it was kind of getting pretty fucked up. And I was like, "Yo, you want to take this out?" And we'll go, "Sure, yeah, yeah, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it." And so we take it out, and we go over towards the middle school that's just right down the road. It might have been the pre-K middle school or something. But most of you guys know, if you guys have played GTA, there's cones on the highway that you can run over. Well, I'm like, yo, dude, watch this. GTA up in this motherfucker. And I start running the cones over. And we start laughing our asses off. It was the funniest shit. We then go over towards the school administration building. And I just start drifting it around the, like, kind of like this curb area that was at the administration building. And so I'm drifting it. We're doing it. We got a couple videos of it. I don't know if he still has them. I don't have them. He might. But we start drifting the video. He's throwing it, and I'm teaching him how to drift it. And eventually we kind of get bored, and we're like, "Yo, do you wanna call it a night here?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So we ended up taking it back, parking it up in the same spot, and we kept the keys. Um, and we ended up just kind of splitting our ways. And that was the time about how we stole our school's golf carts 2 different times. But the second time, we weren't pulled over anything because we were pretty smart that time and didn't go too far away from the school. But I mean, we were ready for anything that time. Because if we were caught again driving a four wheeler around, they wouldn't have fucking believed us that time. So we ended up just going home. But yeah, that's the story about how we stole my school's golf cart. Well, if you want more of these, just let me know, and I can make more.